Alright, so let's talk about power. Now, I'm not talking about power like, go Power Rangers, or I'm not talking about superpowers like the power to kill a yak, from 200 miles, 200 yards away with mind bullets. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about power more with voting. Okay, voting. And if you are in a council or a committee, if you are a shareholder in something and you get some sort of vote, okay, that's the power we're talking about, is how much each vote is weighed. So if Johnny on the spot has 15 votes and Billy only has 7, how much more weight does Johnny have than Billy? Okay, how much less does Billy have? And that's what we're going to be calculating in this. We're going to be going over, not in this video, but in the next one, the 2 power indexes, to be able to look at, see how much the 2 people have power. Okay, how much weight do they have in this system? Okay. So, first things first, venture capitalism. Now, this might seem like something like an economics or when we're discussing about venture capitalism, we're talking about basically the perfect voting system. Okay, voting power distribution. Okay, this basically means is that every single person has a voice in the committee. So everybody's vote is counted for something, and nobody has too much. It's perfect. It's what we all strive for. The problem is that some people are very greedy and they don't want this to happen. Okay. Now, when we would write something like this, when you're writing out your voting, your power displacement, or how much power each person has, the first thing you list is the quota. So we'll say the quota is 10. So this means you need 10 votes to pass a measure. Okay. After that, you list the power, or how much weight each person has. So we'll say 3, 2, 2, 2, 1. Oh, that's not enough. We'll keep saying 2. Let's see here. 2, 4, 6, comma 2, comma 2. That should be enough. So something like that. As you see, they need 10 to be able to pass this measure. Okay. And as you see, we have more than 10, and everybody has a fair share. Everybody has the equal number, or has a amount of power. Okay, that's what venture capitalism is. It's perfect. It's what we strive for. Now, there are some that don't. Anarchy, okay, not like people rioting in the streets and breaking things and all that stuff. No, we're not talking about that type of anarchy. The anarchy we're talking about is multiple things getting done at once. Okay, and basically an example of this is that if we have, let's say we have 4 as our passing. So if you have 4, you can pass. And we have 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. As you see, this is less than half of the total votes. So anarchy occurs basically when you have a quota so low that multiple things can pass. And we don't want that. We want only one thing to pass. So if multiple things pass, then we have something called anarchy. Okay. So one thing you can say is that whenever your quota, okay, what you want to hit, you always want to be 50% plus 1. Because if you're at 50%, then you can have something pass and fail. If you have less than 50%, you will have sometimes things that will pass and fail, okay, under the same vote. So we always want to go 50% plus 1, okay? Now, gridlock. You probably hear gridlock a lot, back in D.C., back in Congress, can't get anything done. And gridlock is basically when a quota is too high. So if you want to think of like let's say in Congress, they need to pass something, or they have to see if they can pass something, but they need at least 2/3 majority to pass. Well, if we're sitting pretty close 50-50 on Republicans and Democrats, and they can't work together, then we're not going to get anything done. That quota is too high to be able to get anything done. Now, permanent gridlock is if your quota is higher than the total number of votes. So let's say you add up everybody's votes and you only have 30 total votes, and you set your quota at 31. nothing is ever going to get done. And because of this, we have gridlock. Gridlock means nothing can pass, nothing is passing, the quota is too high. Okay? Okay, the quota is too high, we've got to lower it. That's gridlock. Okay, one partner, one vote. Now, when we start looking at these and we start looking at how much power each person has, so what percentage of the overall voting they have, and if we find out that everybody has an equal share, then we call that one partner, one vote. Everybody's vote is worth the same. Even if Johnny on the spot has about 15 votes and Billy over there has 7, but in the long run we calculate and we see that they actually have the same percentage, we would say that they're one partner, one vote. Because Billy's vote is worth the exact same as Johnny's vote. Okay? That is considered one partner, one vote. Is that everybody's power is exactly the same. Okay? And we'll calculate those. Alright, unsuspecting dummy. Now an unsuspecting dummy is somebody that doesn't suspect that they're being played. Okay? Now, it's, again, dummies, somebody that is not bright, but they think that they have power, but they don't. And when we calculate these, and we find that somebody has 0% of the power, so no matter how they vote, won't change anything, themselves can't sway a vote to passing or rejecting. Their vote will have no weight out of anything. Okay? These are unsuspecting dummies. They have no power, but they think they have power. You could have 100 votes, but everybody else could have a different number or a larger numbers, and you go, oh, you know what? I got 100 votes. You know what? I got some power in this. No. If we were to calculate it, you could have absolutely none. Okay? If your vote never sways to a yes, can never help sway a coalition, which is a group of voting, to a yes, then you are an unsuspecting dummy. Okay? All right? That's an unsuspecting dummy. Somebody that thinks they have power, but they don't. All right, veto powers. Now, veto power and the next one, dictators, are pretty similar. There's a small difference between them. A good example of veto power is if you think of the UN Security Council. There's the 5 permanent members. They all have veto power. Okay? Now, veto power basically means that if something comes in and you say, no, I don't want this to pass, it won't pass. Okay? You basically have the ending to say, no, this will not pass. And the UN Security Council, these 5 members, US, UK, France, China, and Russia, all have the ability to say no, okay, to any measure, and it won't pass. That's what a veto power is. You have enough power to reject a proposal, but a veto power, you do not have enough to pass it on your own. Okay? So if you can reject it, but you can't pass it on your own, then you have veto power. Okay? So veto power is a reject but not pass. Okay? Now you can think, oh, well, the president has this. Well, yes, the president can veto stuff, but it can be overturned. A veto power is somebody that, if they veto it, it's not being overturned. It's done until they change their mind. Okay? They have that absolute power of saying, no, nothing's going to change it. Okay? That's what a veto power is. All right. Okay, now dictator. All right. So dictator is different from a veto power. A dictator can say, or they can reject a proposal. They can say, no, this isn't going to happen. But they can also pass a measure all by themselves. So if somebody has absolute power, you can think of dictators that have had absolute power, like Stalin and Hitler and all these others. If they have absolute power, they're called a dictator because no matter what they say, happens. So in a voting system, if somebody has enough power to say, no matter what I say it's going to happen, they are considered a dictator. So they can pass or reject a measure. A veto power can only reject a measure. Okay? Unsuspecting dummies have no power. One partner, one vote, everybody's got the same. Venture capitalism is perfect. It's how everybody has a fair share and you can pass things. Anarchy means that the quota is too low. Gridlock means the quota is too high and nothing can pass. All right? So that's the mathematics of power to start.